into it too. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another CONCACAF Champions League talk. My name is Dave Knittel here with Blaze. Blaze, how do you say your last name?
Blaise Bourgeois.
Bourgeois. All right. So we're here with Blaze. May have a couple other people joining, but Blaze, I wanted to give you a quick opportunity. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you got podcasts and whatnot. So what do you got going on?
All right. Yeah. So I'm the editor. Well, I'm an in editor over at One Football. Currently working my night shift now. I'm the host of the NASA Football Podcast, the North and South American Football Podcast. We just in the last 2 weeks we just had Brian Ching on the program as well as Yves Galersep. To tease the podcast a little bit, he explains why Tim Weah, along with Josh Sargent and a few others, will not be at the Gold Cup. So if you Eves has been around the business since I was a child. So it's a good listen. It's got a lot of juicy tidbits in there.
All right, yeah, definitely gotta give that a listen, everybody. And where can people find it?
iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you get your podcast, and you can go onto our Twitter account at NASA Podcast.
All right, so make sure to check that out. We got, we're talking CONCACAF Champions League tonight. We got Monterrey hosting SKC. Blaze, early thoughts on what's going to happen in this match?
So Rayados, they have not had the best run of form, but they've named a really strong lineup. They got Funes Mori out there. I think they are going to be out for blood tonight. Man, I cannot see them lose, or I can't see them losing at all. I say a 3-1 win at minimum. Best case scenario for SKC, they get a 1-1 draw, but a really, really good result for Sporting KC tonight would be if they lost 2-1 and brought it back to Kansas City.
I'd agree with that. I think even if they lost 3-1, it wouldn't be tie over. I think getting that road goal and keeping it within 2 goals is absolutely key here. But I'm in agreement with you. 1-1, they'd be ecstatic. 2-1, I think they'd be pretty happy. And again, I think they'd even be okay with 3-1 here.
Yes, an interesting little note. Zaleum is on the bench for SKC.
Interesting. That is interesting. Just given, I mean, I haven't followed Swoke Park Rangers too much this season, but I know he was, I think, getting a little bit of time down there. But I find it kind of shocking to an extent that he's already made it onto the bench for the first team. But I know they are dealing with a couple injuries, so maybe that played a role in this as well.
Yeah, I haven't been looking at Swope Park Rangers too much. I actually, to be quite honest, I didn't even know he made his debut. I'm going to read about it right now. But yeah, he was also on the bench for their 7-1 win against Montreal. And, if you're up by a huge margin, well, why don't you give him a little time? I didn't understand that. I mean, I know you got like Gianluca Buzio on the bench as well. Kellen Rowe, they're all wanting time, but you're never gonna have as perfect of a chance to give him a nice little MLS debut and be comfortable than against Montreal when you're up about 4, 5, 6 goals. So that was a little questionable, but hey, he must be impressing in training enough for Peter Vermees to give him the call up for the Champions League game. Absolutely, and I think a reason why he might be brought up. He plays as a number 6. If they're starting to get manhandled early on the match, maybe he comes in the second half. Who knows? Gives him a little spark. Tighten up the back line, or tighten up things right in the middle of the park. But, who knows? It's the Champions League game, man. Anything's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd just be curious to just see what his game looks like now after, having the devastating knee injury and not really playing a ton. I remember his game before they were trying to make him more of a 10, but he was kind of a little bit more as an 8, but I don't remember his defensive qualities being that high. And it sounds like maybe he's being played further back and they're kind of trying to make him more of a 8/6. Am I understanding that correct?
Uh, I have no insight on the topic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's just been riddled with injuries over at Arsenal, and yeah, I think this is a move he could have made a couple of years ago. Uh, shit, how old is he now? He's
He's
still young. He's
22.
22. He's
Yeah.
22 years old, so he still has a lot of time to develop. Now, you got people will be like, "Oh man, he's a little washed. He's past his prime." But you have to remember, most of the guys coming out of the super draft, 22, 23 years old,
Yeah.
and
I'm
he's
not one of
setting.
those people that writes people off at 21 or 22. I know a lot of the soccer community does, but even today we retweeted from the Bros Talking Soccer Twitter handle. I mean, Drogba really didn't even break out until 24. He didn't sign a pro deal until 21. Everyone's got a different development path, and so I'm not anywhere close to writing him off.
Yeah, and if you really want to go into it, I mean, Jamie Vardy was 25 years old, still playing at Fleetwood Town. You know, and this, you know, this like Jamie Vardy's situation, and even Zalam's, like it's kind of what separates U.S. development from Europe, or Europe from the U.S. You get all those chances to still be in the pyramid,
Yeah.
no matter if you're playing 8th division, 7th division, 6th division. If you love the game, you can still develop, you can still play, you can still get noticed. Here, I mean, shit, you could be playing the USL, you could be like a first teamer, and you might not get a look in MLS.
That is frustrating about it over here. Just the lack of movement between the lower divisions and MLS has always frustrated me. And I think that needs to change, particularly with clubs that aren't affiliated with MLS teams. Like, obviously, there's movement between MLS clubs and their USL affiliates, but I want to see more MLS teams signing promising USL players who aren't affiliated and building out the pyramid and getting more professional teams and growing kind of the lower levels is imperative to doing all that.
Yeah, and it's not only with the players, it's the coaching system as well. I mean, how many of the same coaches do you see recycled over and over and over again? Uh, and there's plenty of qualified candidates. For example, I worked with this guy, Bob Lilly. So he used to manage the Rhinos. He's over at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds right now. An interesting stat about him, which is gonna blow all your minds. He's been coaching since 1997. He's been coaching since 1997 in A League. He managed the Impact, the Whitecaps. He's managed indoor, outdoor. He has never once missed the postseason at any level for 20 years, and he can't get a look in MLS. Like, what's going on there? I mean, the guy's he's got a big temper. Yeah. He also does not play attractive football. He plays very defensive football. But most of the time when he makes the playoffs, he's brought into clubs with an extremely low payroll. Like the last year at the Rhinos, they were operating on 10-15% of payroll compared to other teams in the league. And he's still comfortably got him in the playoffs. Yeah, something's got to change in MLS that from both the player and coaching standpoint.
Um,
It's just so frustrating, man. Especially when you're on the inside, you see it firsthand.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I mean, I've harped on the podcast numerous times about lack of lower division managers getting opportunities. That's why I'm really excited about Mark Dos Santos and Giovanni Savarese, finally getting some opportunities, and hopefully they can make some impressions. And Giovanni obviously had a great season last year, and Mark Dos Santos understandably isn't off to the best of starts, but hopefully more opportunities like that will give other managers more opportunities. So I'm in, you're preaching to the choir here. I'm in complete agreement with you on that one.
Yeah. Who else we got on tonight?
So I think right now it's just us two. I sent out the invite to a couple others, the same guys from last night, Bridger or Drew. We send it to my brothers, but they're usually busy during the week. So yeah, right now it's just us, and hopefully people come and go, as the games happen. But we'll see, man. Looks like we got a couple people in the comment section. Someone saying 4-0 to Kansas. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but that's
no.
Yeah. And then
it's nice to dream. Yeah, it's cute and all, but have you, man, if you've ever been to a Mexican League match, or even if you just watch it on TV, it's like entering the Gladiator Dome. And I mean, yeah, you can't, like SKC, sure, they're a great team and definitely an MLS Cup contender. I really, really, really like them. But Rayados is like top of Mexico. They have just so many players, and they put out an absolutely stacked 11 tonight, and they're not even using their most expensive player. Maxi Mason's on the bench, and that's still a terrifying team to play if you're an MLS side. So 4-0, absolutely not. Could they possibly, get win a 2-1 game with 35% possession? It's possible, but I mean, best case scenario is they get a 1-1 right here. That is absolute best case in my opinion. And as somebody that lives in the United States, I hope I'm eating my words, but you got to be realistic. They got to get an away goal tonight, and they got to hold Rayados to 2-3 goals at the most.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
We got Pabon. He's been in unbelievable form. Funes Mori, he is just a top striker. Hurtado on the left, he is lightning fast. The players in the middle of the field are so creative. Their defense can be a little shaky at times, but yeah, they're up there, if not better than any MLS defense.
Yeah, I haven't been too impressed with Funes Mori in this competition, but Drew, I think we got Drew here. Drew, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Drew, you want to introduce yourself and give thoughts on this match?
Yeah, so thanks for inviting me, Dave. This is Andrew speaking. In terms of the game tonight, I think this one's going to be quite an interesting affair. As per usual with MLS teams, we struggle away from home in most cases. So I'm not expecting a win at a Sporting KC, but depending on how this goes, I'm going to go 2-1 Monterrey. I think Sporting KC at least keeps it tight and sets up for a good finale going back home in the second leg.
Yeah, from the SKC perspective, I haven't been incredibly impressed with Fontash, the other center back that's paired with Matt Beasler. So that's someone who I'm going to keep an eye on. The rest of their side is pretty much Fontash is now their starting center back after Iko Para moved on. But that's someone who I'm going to be watching. And then the rest of their lineup strong. They had a commitment to possession and playing out of the back throughout this competition and throughout MLS. So I'm going to be watching to see if they stick to that in this match as well. Looks like they got a shitload of streamers on the field there that they're trying to clean up.
I'm definitely going to be watching a Viles Hurtado going right at Graham Zuzi all night long. And wow, if that is, and then Dolan Pavone against Sinovich on the other side. But yeah, Rayados, they are going to just attack on the wings tonight. If they do anything else, I'd be stunned.
Yeah, and Funes Mori definitely has height in the center of the box. Beasler's okay in the air. He's not great. And Fontash, he's still new to the league. I don't know too much about him, but I just haven't been impressed with performances thus far, particularly in possession. So again, I don't know. That's something to look out for, especially if they're going to be hitting the wings. The center backs are going to need to support as well as the defensive center midfielders for SKC.
Yeah, and Funes Mori, he hasn't really had to, really go all out in Champions League play. In the league, he is just torn teams apart. I believe he's got 8 goals in 11 games in the league right now, and yeah, he's only played. He didn't even play the first game against Alianza. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, right. He's gonna score one tonight. I have no doubts that this is a semifinal at home. He's ready. Here we go.
I wasn't impressed with their performance against Alianza over either leg, and they obviously turned it on against Atlanta, but I haven't been, I don't watch a ton of Liga MX, so I haven't seen them in Liga MX play, but I haven't been overly impressed with them in this competition. But I know they're a talented squad, and I don't know if they just haven't hit gear in this competition or what, but I'm really excited for this matchup, and here we go. Looks like it's underway.
Yeah, you could tell watching them against Alianza, they were playing at probably 60%, even in the second half of that second leg. And I think they only went full gear for the second half of the first leg against Atlanta. Otherwise, they really haven't had to do anything in this competition as far as, going balls to the wall, going 100% effort. Now, the last 2 matches I touched on this last night in Liga MX play, they've blown a 2-0 lead against Cruz Azul in the last 15 minutes, and then they they lost 1-0 to Jolos, who under Oscar Pareja, former FC Dallas manager, they have just been so impressive considering how bad they were last season. And they didn't really make too many moves either. So Pareja has got them going on full cylinders. He took them to the Copa MX semis down there. But yeah, they're going to really want to punch SKC in the mouth early. So I think they're going to score in the first 15 minutes. Interesting choice of jerseys for both teams. At least maybe on the field you'll be able to tell more clearly, but shit, looking on TV, that is tough.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting choice as well. And SKC clearly committed to playing out of the back so far. So, they're not abandoning any of their principles, but they're going to play. It looks like they're playing with fire, and Zuzi with the terrible turnover there. And SKC's getting it back together here. Drew, any early thoughts on this one?
Looks like Sporting KC is going to come out firing, which is normal for them. So we'll see if they can capitalize on this early pressure.
Which is also another reason why I think Rayados will score in the first 15 minutes, because SKC comes out strong and wants to attack. But if Rayados hit them on the counter, forget about it. By the way, right now, what is the time that you're looking at on the clock?
2:30, 2:31.
Jesus, I'm 30 seconds ahead of you. I'm at 3:05.
Yeah. You're watching on TV?
Yeah, I got it on Univision. I'm somewhere of the mute.
Yeah, unfortunately, for whatever reason, Sling and Univision had a falling out, and so I lost those channels this year.
Highly recommend Fubo. I have yet to find a better source for all my footy needs than Fubo.
Yeah, I know. I know. I have that on the list. So I don't watch a ton of TV. I mean, pretty much only watch soccer. But with Fubo, can you get like other television channels, specifically like Food Network and HGTV for my wife? That's the only two.
Yeah. So I pay $60. It is and that includes Spanish add-on and what else? I think it's a pair of Spanish add-ons.
Oh God,
like,
lovely ball.
It's a pair of Spanish add-ons and a sports add-on. But I think it starts at like $40, and you get DVR with it as well. And I have like 100-something channels, movies. But yeah, I mainly just use it for sports.
Nice.
I'm gonna try to not play spoiler over here as well.
That's all right. I think viewers are at all different, parts as well. So you got something to say, you can let it out, man. Drew, what time are you at? Are you at least near where I am?
I'm closer to Blaze at this point. I'm at 452 right now.
Right, let me refresh my page.
507.
Let me refresh my page, see if I can catch up.
Now I'm watching off of the stream on the computer, so.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like we should be at least somewhat close, Drew. Yeah, I'm at 508, 509 now.
Ooh. Whoa. By the way, Univision right now, if you have access to by far my favorite Spanish announcers on the call today. I forget his name, but he also is a commentator on this Spanish show called Línea de Cuatro, which is like Around the Horn, except it's just about footy. And it's brilliant. I love these guys.
I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know how much I'd appreciate it. But
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I don't speak it. I'm probably like 60-70% fluent at this time. I've studied for about 10 years. I've been in Spanish-speaking countries. I lived in New York as well, so I've had to use it on the job. Plus, I'm translating articles from Portuguese and Spanish every night.
Impressive.
Hey, you do what you can. Plus, my girlfriend is teaching me Brazilian Portuguese on a daily basis as well.
Nice. Ooh, that was a lovely ball in behind by Russell. Game's been entertaining so far. Back and forth, a little bit of possession for both sides too. Really good start to this one.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Sporting Kansas City. They've actually, man, if just a touch, that would have been dangerous. Here we go on a breakaway. There it is. Rayado's up 1-0.
You called it.
And
you're a little early for us here, champ.
Dorlan Pabon on the wing.
How did that start? We missed. We missed
whole thing.
Yeah, we just saw the very, very end.
So, they cut out late here too, but I believe it was straight from a goal kick. I'm about to see the replay now. Pabon has been unbelievable this season. So it went through the middle, and then they just split the two center backs. Or not the two center backs, Sinovic and the other center back, but man, Sinovic is going to get torched by Pabon all night long.
So was he just pressed high, or?
Yeah, they pressed way too high and they got caught.
Yeah. And just like that, SKC down, not what they wanted. Andres, I mean, it was a good game so far, and I mean, it's still a good game so far, but SKC is going to be very frustrated at conceding that goal. Drew, anything else you want to add about the goal?
I'd just say that was just unfortunate for Sporting KC because they were starting out pretty strong.
A little bit too aggressive, though, defensively. That I don't know if somebody's like, it sounds like whacking a water bottle or something like that. There we go. That was a little bit.
I'm texting on my phone at the same time. I'm turning.
All right.
I'm the vibrate off again. My bad.
No worries. I was just wondering what that sound was.
Yeah, that's me. Here we go. All right, we should be all right now.
That was a terrible giveaway there.
Let's see what college student is sending me a LinkedIn message today. Yes, man, Sinovich, I just feel bad. Him against Dorlan Pabon is just going to be an incredibly one-sided matchup right there.
Yeah, could Beasler have done more to take away that pass? I noticed he was pretty flat.
They should be playing up way deeper against the Rayados. They have no need to press high. Like, why invite them to beat you there? It's like the game yesterday.
Santos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lovely ball.
You're just inviting the through ball on the wing, which is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing tonight. You want to, if Sporting Kansas City was smart, they'd be trying to have 10 men behind the ball at all times. Oh, wow. That could have been easy. That was so close to a penalty. That should have been 2-0.
So I just saw it. Drew, thoughts on that one?
It was just good recovery.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think I'm in agreement there. I'm not certain that was a penalty.
Not a penalty, almost.
God. All right, SKC again. They're not deviating from the plan, which is, I guess good to see. And hopefully it continues to be an interesting game.
My producer kind of had a bad take saying how Rayados scored against the run and play, but I thought it was a little back and forth at the beginning myself.
Yeah, I think it was pretty even. Drew, thoughts on that?
Oh, sorry. I was talking and I realized that my mic was on mute. No, I mean, I think that was a clean tackle. I definitely would not be given a foul there.
No. So what I was saying, the goal, did that come against the run of play for you? Was it pretty even?
Oh, sorry. I heard the first part and I apologize. No, I definitely say that goal came against the run of play. It was a little too easy, I think, for Monterrey. I mean, granted, that's how KC kind of play. They play a little bit high. So we'll see how that affects their play style going forward here.
Yeah, and for me, I guess run of play, I guess you can interpret it different ways. But for me, I just meant on the balance of play over the first 7 minutes. I thought it was pretty even and back and forth. So for me, it wasn't against the run of play, just on the perspective of, that's how I interpret what run of play means. But, it was a pretty quick counter. So if you consider that, I can understand. Blaze, and you kind of already said that you thought it was pretty even.
Even-ish. I thought Rayados came out stronger, but Sporting Kansas City came out stronger than I thought they would. I didn't think they would have a couple half chances in the first 10 minutes. So this one's going to be a little interesting to see. Oh, Pabon, you're going down way too easy, my man. Yeah, they're just going to attack the wings. No doubt about it.
Yeah, you called that.
they're starting to double Pabon, or not necessarily double Pabon, but they're giving Sinovic a lot of help now.
As well they should, right? So it's something maybe that they recognized. So
what? Oh my goodness, 2-0. Yep, 2-0.
and again, these replays, we're missing how they pick up the ball.
That started with Pabon on the wing again.
Man, was it SKC just trying to play out of the back? Is that how they turned it over?
It's just SKC just not taking care of it.
Yeah. I'm also working at the same time, so
they basically turned off. It looked like.
Say again, Drew.
Almost looked like they just turned off.
SKC turned off.
Yeah, I mean the ball got played in. It looks like, and instead of trying to clear it off the line, the defenders just watched.
Yeah, I'm talking about
did everything he could.
Yeah, I'm talking about even before that. So last we saw, they were showing replays, and it was an SKC goal kick, I thought. And then all of a sudden, they came back from replay, and Monterrey had the ball. So I was wondering, before, we're seeing the replay now, before the goal happened.
So Rayados won the ball in midfield. It got went out to Pabon. Sinovic was letting Pabon in behind him, even though he's still onside, and Pabon just easily fired a dart into the middle, took a deflection, went to his teammate who half whiffed, and Emilia was caught flat-footed, and just banged home the rebound, 2-0.
Yeah, that was such a weird sort of rebound to give up, because the shot sort of, I think it was Funes Mori, sort of kind of hit it off of himself. And so it almost wrong-footed Emilia. And then the ball just,
and
the ball just slowly rolled to him. I mean, he probably should have just held on to it, but you can kind of understand why he just parried it. But
that's not Emilia's fault at all. No way.
No, but, he might be kicking himself that giving up that rebound.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's gonna think he could have probably punched it or hit the ball a little further out wide, and made it a lot harder to just slam home the rebound. But 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. This isn't the game plan.
No,
Chief. Vermees, what you doing? The Pabon and Sinovic matchup is it's laughably one-sided. I think Sinovic is one of, if not SKC's weakest member of the 11 anyway, even in MLS play. And Pabon is arguably one of Rayado's best players. Definitely a top 3 player. So, yikes. This one could get ugly.
Yes, it could.
Speaking of ugly, did you happen to see what happened in the Atalanta game in Italy?
I did not. What happened?
They scored 4 times in the first 15 minutes. And it was the first time that's happened in Serie A in, I believe, 84 years.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking up.
Yeah, they didn't score again, though.
They didn't need to. You scored 4 in the first 15, unless you're Arsenal.
In the first 15, as like a neutral, you kind of want to be like, hey, let's put in 10 today.
Yeah, see how high it can get. Let's make it historic.
Right.
So how does SKC get back into this one? Do they need to adjust how they're playing? Oh, man. Drew, how does SKC get back into this?
By calming down. I think that's the big thing. I think they're way too spread. They're not in unison right now. They're kind of broken down. They need to find a way to get the ball, get some possession, just keep it.
Yeah, because even when they're getting possession, I think
they're throwing it away.
Yeah, telegraphing passes, maybe not used to the pace that Rayados is coming at them. So
The midfielders are not tracking back as much as they should. They have to realize that, you can get away with that in MLS, but against a team like that, you have to track back every single time. You got to be prepared to run a marathon.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it at all. They're already walking less than 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and the thing is, they have experienced players who have been at higher levels. Roger Espinosa has played in the Premier League. Yeah, I was with Wigan, but I mean, he's been there. Their other players are, Vermees just preaches work ethic and running. So it's kind of surprising to see that from them, especially this early on.
Yeah. They've just been absent.
Blaze, how do you think SKC needs to get back in this?
Like I said, their midfielders have to get back. They need to put a lot more guys. It's kind of a catch-22. They need to put more guys behind the ball, but they also need to break out quick on the counter. So essentially, you need your midfielders. You need Gutierrez. You need Eli Sanchez. You need Espinoza. You need them playing box to box right now. And that's how they will score a goal. It's already too late for them to, quote, get back in the game, in my opinion. They're not scoring 2 tonight. No way. They need to do whatever it takes to score a goal and not give up 2 more. You can't let it get to 4, and you can't get shut out.
So I agree, you can't let it get to 4. You can't get shut out. And based on the run of play thus far, yeah, I don't see any way they're scoring a goal, let alone multiple goals. But crazier things have happened, and halftime adjustments are always interesting to see. So I don't know if they can make a ton of adjustments before halftime, but if they can get to halftime still just down 2-0, I think it'll be a victory from here. That's what I'll say. And then from there, who knows if make adjustments, make some tactical substitutions, and then potentially get back into it. Because you see all the time, matches completely flip, especially at halftime.
Well, I think if they were smart right now, they got to leave Gerso out there. So they either get rid of Nemeth or Russell. They got to switch to a 4-4-2. They got to do something different. The 3 up top is not going to work today because they're just leaving way too many holes in the midfield. And Rayados will absolutely continue to take advantage if they don't change. They're too smart for that.
Yeah, has Gerso touched the ball? I'm trying to think. I mean,
not touch the ball.
Yeah,
and I would hope that they run it through him. He's been so impressive in the Champions League. I don't think I've seen an SKC MLS match yet, aside from I caught a little bit of that opening round LAFC match, and that's it. But yeah, I've loved everything I've seen from Gerso in the Champions League.
agreed. And he's somebody he reminds me a little bit of Latif Blessing in that they're very pacey and they get into good positions, but their touches oftentimes let them down. But for whatever reason, that hasn't been the case this season, specifically in the Champions League, which is when I've seen them the most, seen him the most. So yeah, I'd agree with you there that he's been very impressive in CCL play.
I will be right back, guys.
Sinovic needs to do better there. That's just, he can't put his hands on his back and allow him to get out of that. That's always a huge pet peeve of mine when the defenders just let the guy just bail out.
Right. Yeah, that puts him in a tight spot.
Agreed. So about halfway through the first half, Monterrey very much in control. SKC started pretty well, but has just been completely left exposed at the back. Blaze was highlighting that, the outside backs are getting worked over. Specifically, Sinovic on the left side has had a rough go so far. Oof. That was a collision. Drew, thoughts on, switching the formation like Blaze was saying? What adjustments do SKC need to make? Do they need to get Sinovic more support out there by switching to a 4-4-2?
I don't know if they necessarily need to switch the formation up. Personally, I think they just need to stick to the game plan and just take their time, get the possession, build. I think you do better when you keep yourself with the ball because, when you're just losing the ball like they just did, just throwing it away, it doesn't help at all. And Graham Zusi also as a right back does not help either. He's going to get probably a yellow card for that challenge. Maybe not.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with Jerso there, where he just has a loose touch and just gives it away needlessly. That was kind of the player that I've seen in the past.
The problem is Zusi's just not built for the speed on the corner, and he needs to just kind of make his way. I think at least
he needs to make his way.
Just like someone else should be in that place. Personally,
got it.
Wait, did Zusi not get a card for that?
We don't know how, because that was a clear yellow card.
I saw the replay. That's it. And I saw them complaining. That is outrageous. But man, the Rayados guy, I forget who it was, but he had like 10 fouls against Atlanta and didn't pick up a card. It was either Rayados or Herediano, but one guy against Atlanta had 10 fouls and didn't get a single card. That was pretty outrageous.
Yeah, I remember that match. I think it was Rayados, if I remember correctly. But I don't remember the exact player. This match has been pretty physical. I think the ref's done a good job of calling the fouls. I think the match last night started to get a little bit out of hand. Ismail Elfath, I believe, was the ref last night, and he let it get a little bit out of hand. And then towards the end of the second half, it seemed like Santos had kind of accepted their fate and things sort of calmed down a bit from there. But if this one gets out of hand, I think it could get ugly on the physical side because SKC's, they can be physical. Roger Espinoza is, not going to back out of a challenge. Johnny Russell's the same way. They have some players that hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Man, you're name dropping referees over here. Are you in a referee fantasy league?
No. He's just he's one of the more well-known MLS refs. That's the only. I don't know too many. Mark Geiger's gone, so I remember him. Ismail Elfath. There's a couple other ones that I might be able to name, but no, I'm not. What would be in an MLS or in a fantasy ref league? Probably fouls called, right? That would be really interesting. That has to exist, right? I've never heard of it before, but now that you say it, that Mike Dean would be an all-star.
So they actually have real MLB umpire fantasy league. I know this for a fact. I don't know if you can actually do one online, but I definitely know 100% that underground umpire fantasy leagues exist.
Yeah, I feel like, especially with Premier League refs, because that's just one, a lot of people talk about, they know the names, and it's always funny, making fun of them, or they're just bigger personalities. I got to imagine they exist somewhere, bonus points for yellow and red cards.
Yeah, overseas, yes. I don't think anybody's got an MLS referee league going on in their basement. I feel like we would have heard about it by now. Writing a little piece about Jermaine Defoe at Rangers right now. Gerard thinks Defoe's going to be the number one next year.
I didn't even know Defoe was still playing, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, he was loaned. He was loaned out from Bournemouth in January for the rest of his contract on a 1.5 year loan. And so far, Defoe's in the league. He's got 5 goals and 2 assists in 10 games. Score, and that's scoring at a rate of every 89 minutes.
Pretty good rate.
Defoe's always had a great rate, though, no matter where he goes.
Except for Toronto.
Yeah, except which is stunning to me that he flopped out at Toronto. I thought he was going to pick MLS apart, and man, that was like 5 years ago. Oh my goodness! And yeah, he's definitely over the hill, way over the hill. But in a league like Scotland, he's still gonna bag goals. He could go to, say, like an Australian league team, and he'll bag goals over there as well. Plus, Defoe is one of those guys that he just wants to play, yeah, and he's gonna go into his 40s, I would think.
It's a good period of possession for SKC the last minute or two. They've held it, they earned a throw there, but on top, they've been passing out of the pressure, no dumb giveaways like they've had earlier. This has been impressive from them.
Here we go. First card of the match. Is this the first card of the match? Yeah.
And there's Fontas. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Just him in possession. He's
a yellow.
He's a little bit shaky.
That's not a yellow. That's just him awkwardly falling over. That's tough. If you're not gonna give Zuzi a yellow, you can't give that a yellow to Fontos right there.
The only thing I might understand there is he's basically last man back there, and yeah, there's a lot of space in behind. But if that ball gets through, I mean, I think it was Funes Mori is in on a breakaway, so maybe that's what's going through the ref's mind. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm in agreement that it's not a yellow.
Man, goalkeepers get so much protection.
I mean, that was a foul, but I mean,
but yeah, as a goalkeeper, that's what you're taught. If you're gonna take a beating, at least make the other guy feel
it. Yeah, and he certainly did.
Yeah, Amelia was always good at that.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah, in real life, he is enormous.
So Blaze, what do you have any matches or articles that you need to write tonight? Anything you're keeping an eye on?
So the only match with my current sorry, I'm a little distracted by the game. Current work structure, I would only write live match reports for Chivas, America, and Corinthians. So neither of those sides are playing tonight. Actually, all the important teams are already accounted for, and I've already taken care of a lot. So Rangers now, Aston Villa, and then I'm going to go into Inter, Leicester, Wolves, Southampton, Sunderland, Atletico in that order. Get as many done before midnight.
And so what are you writing? Are you just writing just updates on them, injury reports? What specifically are you writing about?
Rumors, quotes, that kind of thing. If there was anything newsworthy, like stadium updates or ownership rumors, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't really think too much of rumors. It's just rumors. But if there was anything newsworthy, like stadium updates or ownership rumors, that kind of thing. But yeah, during the middle of the week, it's pretty much just summer rumors and quotes.
Got it. And is it just one article per team that you gotta get out per night or something like that?
Well, we have like a top 11 that the top 11 teams in the world that we get an article out by 10 p.m. Eastern time, and we have it staggered to send out at a different time based on what continent you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And then after those, I do a Chivas. I do a Chivas America and a Corinthians article first when I sit down. Those go out by 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. Then those articles, and then after that, I just get as much as I possibly can done that's remaining because we have a focus right now on the top 29 teams that our users subscribe to.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
I don't know why it's not 30, but I don't make the rules there. But yeah, and then we get a lot of native articles from various sources that we're contracted to. So if we were to get those, all I have to do is send out the app or schedule the app notifications for those.
Got it. Very cool.
Yeah. I get to, chill out, have a beer, watch some footy, write about some footy, talk about some footy. It's make some dinner. Could be a worse gig.
Yeah, man, dude, that sounds like the life.
I'm trying to make it my life. I'm at the moment. I'm trying to reach out and get some other freelance gigs going on because I got too much in my head that's not going on paper right now, and I just need to expand my brand.
Nice, man. Well, I'm excited to get you on to the podcast next month and learn more about all this stuff and whatnot. And we can
Yeah,
put it out more formally.
yeah. Next month, this has got to be a chance. Oh my goodness, how does Pabon whiff that horrifically? That's got to be 3-0.
Oh my god. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to hit it with the outside part of his right foot. That's a weird.
He was trying to make it look too fancy.
Yeah, that was a weird.
I thought he was trying to guide it in, nice little soft curler into the corner, and it hit off his heel instead. I had a couple of those today.
Some squirrely cues.
Yeah, I got on the pitch outdoors today for the first time in good 6 months. That was nice.
Nice. Just pick up or anything?
Oh, just shooting on an empty frame today for about an hour and a half. It was nice.
He's definitely trying to hit that with the outside of his foot. Just the way that his motion that he kicked. I don't know. That's my opinion on that, but that was clearly a shank. But you were just out there kicking. That's all we, I love doing that.
I've been in a sling for about a week because I thought I pinched a nerve and saw a chiropractor today, and he thought it was even a slip disc, but then he really examined me and he was like, "I just think you got terrible tendonitis," and man, miracle workers over there. And then my back hasn't felt this loose in about a year. So shit, I'm walking on sunshine. I wasn't able to lift my arm over my head for the last week. I got hurt in a rugby match, or at least it started to happen. The pain started 3 days after a rugby match. Yeah. So I can move my arm everywhere now. It's freedom.
Oof. It was a good little period of play by SKC, but now Monterrey just coming right back at them. SKC needs to be able to get some shots off there. They're doing okay in the build-up in certain instances, but just the final pass and really breaking Rayados down, they're just not being able to make that final pass to get a shot off. I can't even think, have they had a shot in the match?
No.
Yeah. So clearly that has to change.
I'm gonna check the stats right now, but that's a no from me. Well, apparently they had one shot off target and they got 60% of the possession.
Yeah, but I feel like most of that possession's in their own half. They're getting a period of possession here.
That's some sideways possession.
Yeah.
It's one of the most overrated fucking stats in footy, honestly. Oh man, now they got the wingers switching back and forth now. Oh, Funes Mori is onside there. How do you not chip it to him? Oh Lord.
Yeah, and again, that kind of all started with Fanta going on just a wander upfield and giving the ball away, and then being wildly out of position. I mean, he's just a liability right now for SKC. I coming into the season, I thought Opara moving on was a huge risk for them to take and letting him go, and I don't think Fontash has lived up to that. Nice save by Amelia there. All right, 40th minute, Monterrey still up 2-0. Again, if SKC gets to have only being down 2-0 after the way that this half has played out, I think they'll be happy. But, there's still a few minutes left in this one. And, who knows? Monterrey could have 2 goals before the half's over.
Somebody on the YouTube channel reminded me that Mia Khalifa has an app that rates referees, UREF. I wonder how that's going.
Interesting. Who on our YouTube chat?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I actually knew that, but I haven't heard about it since the app released.
What? I've never heard of it. UREF. Interesting.
Yeah, she's always bitching about referees, apparently. That's the only time I ever hear her in G-rated news.
Interesting. Who's I gotta check the app out.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything since it dropped, so I can't imagine people are really downloading it. But I mean, shit. She's quote retired, so she's got a huge fan base. So who knows? Maybe some loyal fans out there are subscribing.
For rating referees.
Yeah. Speaking of rating referees, there was a in the Houston Astros game yesterday. There's just some incompetent, just distasteful umpiring behind the plate yesterday. This guy was barking at the Astros bench in the middle of an at-bat, staring them down after calling strikes against their own guys. He yelled at the coach, "I can do whatever I want." It was truly disgusting.
I can't say I know what the hell is going on in baseball. So it sounds bad, but yeah, I did not even know about that. So it's interesting. So we saw this. I can't remember if it was Rayados as well. I personally love the way that they just defended that free kick. So I've been harping on this on the podcast for a while now. It has never made sense to me why defenses, and it's widely accepted, you should play a high line on a free kick, sprint at your own goal to try to defend. It's never made sense to me. Drop the line deep and just win the ball. And so, yeah, that one ultimately was played short and it didn't end up, amounting to anything. But again, I personally love the way of defending like that. Drew, what are your thoughts on Rayados approaching, defending free kicks like that?
I like it. I think it's a smart play. Ooh, hey, getting a little heated there on the field.
Blaze, any thoughts on that?
I honestly missed that free kick. You were saying that Rayados dropped deep after the ball was kicked?
No, so Rayados, before the ball was free kicked, they basically stationed their center backs on the 6-yard box, and then everyone else was kind of around there. They didn't play any sort of line. They were basically, standing still for the most part, and then any ball that would have been floated in, anything behind them, the goalkeeper's responsibility, is responsible for, and then any in front of them, they can attack the way that you should. So for me, I personally really like that style of defending.
In theory, the way you describe it, yes, but also you can have your attackers line up and shield the goalie relatively well if you're having your center backs on the 6-yard box. And then if the ball gets into you, you're standing right there for a bullet header from 6 yards. So yeah, it's tough. But I also don't like when teams try to time it and run forward, and the one guy is like 3 yards behind the rest of the team, leaving 5 of them on side. Like, that's just fucking dumb. Even though I have partaked on teams that have implemented the strategy.
The offside trap that doesn't work out.
It never works out. I mean, the lower divisions you go, the worse the success rate is on that. I mean, you got if you play D3 ball, fuck, you gonna Sporting Kansas City with the best chance of the night.
And it's Jerso in behind. So I'm just seeing it live right now. Lovely ball in.
Yeah, and the Rayados keeper is just, man, you got to feel for SKC there. They had the numbers up, and yeah, goalkeeper is going down, but I think he might have actually got clipped really bad.
I think his own man may have hit him. Monterrey manager is not happy.
Yeah, let's see this replay. What exactly happened here?
And that's halftime. Damn, that is really unfortunate for SK.
I don't like the way that he ended that half.
Yeah, that was
Oh, did he call half there?
He called a half.
I mean, like
but the play should have been paused. They should have treated the keeper, and then they should have continued. Ooh, yeah. I mean, he got kicked, but I mean,
that hurts. That hurts. I mean,
I can't tell from that angle if that's the midsection or if it's his legs. It looks like he kicked his knees. Yeah, right there you could see there's the injury on the inside of his thigh.
Yeah, that hurts. Dead leg or whatnot. Yeah, that's really interesting that the ref decided to just blow the half right there with SKC in the attacking third. And I know it would have been a drop ball, but I don't know. I find that a little bit probably frustrating from an SKC perspective, but it's halftime. 2-0 to Monterrey. Drew, thoughts on the first half?
Well, so far the 2 goals for Monterrey that I said at the start have happened. We'll see if we get any more.
Okay. Blaze, thoughts on the first half?
They are who we thought they were. But yeah, just a little side note. So in Mexican footy, it's actually pretty common for the referee to just end it right when stoppage time is up, even if there's a corner, even if there's a deep free kick. So I'm not really surprised that he blew the whistle there.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, even if there's an injury and a stoppage of play, I
mean, they were already I believe they were already deep enough into stoppage time when he blew for the injury. SKC did have the ball in the offensive third, but like I said, sometimes it doesn't really matter.
All right, fair enough. I think he blew it 45-15, and that was after the keeper had been down for a little bit. So, but that is interesting, and that's probably the perspective that he was coming from. On the balance of play,
he's got to get home to his wife, man.
On the balance of play, I thought SKC started relatively well and ended fairly well. I thought the middle portion of the match from probably the 7th minute, which is I think when they conceded 7th or 8th minute, till probably the 35th or so minute, they looked to be a bit out of sorts, but they didn't concede, again, they just conceded the 2 goals there. And so, if they can take that sort of momentum, they got a good chance right at the end there. And overall, this was going to be a tough match either way. They just need to not concede anymore. And even if it goes back 2-0, yeah, it's going to be tough. But again, keeping it within 2 goals, I think, is crucially important.
I think they gotta score. They have to score because they need to score. I'm sorry. If they go down 2-0, then you're leaving it open where Rayados can score 1 and you have to score 4. And Rayados is more than likely going to score. And even if you play perfect defense, you're either going to give up nothing or you're going to give up 1. But more likely 1. So, they have to score.
Drew, what do you think?
Sorry, I just got back. Sorry, I just took a quick step out. What was the question?
Yeah.
No worries. Do you think, does SKC have to score to have a shot in the return leg of advancing?
I think so, yes. I think they need at least to get a single goal in the second half here.
And I'll go as far as to say that if it's 2-0 still in the 65th or 70th minute, I think Vermees has to do he has to hit the D-pad right 2 times, go ultra attack, ultra attacking mode. They have to go after that goal. Even if they are at risk of losing 3-0 or 4-0, they have to go for it.
I think I'm in agreement too. Seen a couple highlights, most of them Rayados based, which is probably as expected. All right, so here was the second goal. Yeah, it was just a poor giveaway. Who was that? Ili Sanchez that just gave it away cheaply in the middle of the park? Oh, no, it's Gutierrez. Just needs to be stronger there and, just lethal from Rayados there to finish it off.
Just watching highlights of Sinovic playing poorly / getting burned. Man, Tom Carroll is going to be 27 years old. Wow.
The former Tottenham player?
Yeah. I thought he was still in his young 20s. He's going to be 27.
Is he still playing or is he the one? Oh, I'm thinking of Ryan Mason, who had the skull fracture. What's Tom Carroll up to?
He's been hiding out at Swansea. Then, starting at about the end of October, he lost his place in the starting lineup.
Injuries.
Didn't regain it back. Yeah, he's been taking knocks here and there. He got loaned out to Villa. He played. I'm looking at it now. A total of 35 minutes for them on loan, and yeah. He just got returned.
It's kind of a background on that one. Carroll got injured mid part of the fall. Been dealing with a hip injury. And when he went to Villa, he was looking sort of healthy, so they brought him in on loan because they didn't see any risk on a loan move. And he sort of recovered from it, and he played part of a game, and then he's just been nagging with it. So he actually just had season-ending surgery on his hip this past week, which is why he was returned.
Got it. Interesting. Hip injuries are tough.
Yeah, I can definitely speak about that all day.
Beautiful stadium here from Rayados. Thing looks gorgeous. How many does it seat? Do you guys know?
Well, Google knows. Let's see. the BBVA Stadium holds. It was just opened in 2015. 53.5.
Wow. I did not realize it was that big. I mean, it looks big, but it's tough for me to tell with soccer stadiums exactly, what capacity. But that's enormous. Is that
Yeah,
so?
I don't know if have you ever been to or driven past Red Bull Arena? It looks enormous. But then it's like a 20 something thousand capacity stadium.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I never know, based on pictures, how what the capacity is for a stadium. Is that, again, I'm not too familiar with Liga MX stadiums. Obviously, I know Azteca, but in relation to the other clubs, is that one of the bigger stadiums?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I believe it's second or third. Uh, yeah, the Estadio Azteca, they host America and Cruz Azul. How much does the Estadio Akron hold? The Estadio Akron, yeah, it's bigger than the Estadio Akron. That only holds 50,000 where Chivas plays. Um, the Jalisco Stadium, that's a
55, right?
that's a 55,000 seat stadium. That's where Atlas plays, and Leones Negros, the second division side over there.
Got it. Yeah, I just pulled up the Wikipedia of stadiums in Mexico.
Yeah,
Olympico Universitario.
Yeah, that's 42,000.
No, the Olympico Universitario.
No,
Is 72.
where Tigres plays, it's 42, I believe. Unless they expanded it.
Oh no, so this is a different one. So that's where Tigres plays. Where Pumas plays is 72,000.
Yeah, that's enormous. I got to get myself to a couple Liga MX games. So I was speaking with Cesar Hernandez. He writes for ESPN FC. He's done stuff for The Guardian as well. So Jolas is only a 2-mile drive from the American and Mexican border. And people actually he told me about 30 to 40% of the fans are American. They go over, there's kind of an American vibe to it. They got tailgates and whatnot. And it's funny, you can actually park your car at the border, and there's Ubers waiting on match day right there to take you to the stadium.
That's cool.
Now, I don't know how you get back legally as far as consumption of adult beverages go, but yeah, definitely an American vibe to that team, and they've told they even on their main page, I believe it's like they post half their tweets in English.
Can you not cross the border inebriated? Is that what you were referencing there?
Not in your car.
Oh, I get it. If you park there. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the issue was crossing the border inebriated, which I've never tried. I just didn't.
No.
Got it.
They're definitely going to ask a couple curious questions, but you totally can. I've definitely done that. Near Canada myself, I'm only 90 minutes from the border and have had friends at Niagara University, and definitely in the good old days, you could walk across the border, show them your ID, put 50 cents in the slot, and just go on over.
Yeah, so I'm up in Northern California, but I got to get down to San Diego and get over to Tijuana to check out one of those games. I had a friend who.
Let me know. I got the hookup.
All right, yeah, I'll let you know if and when that happens. I had a friend who drove around the country. His name's Steve Bernasconi, who did the soccer tour. And
yeah, he got a hold of me when he was over here, but he couldn't make it.
Yeah, so he stayed with us out here in San Jose, but he went to a Cholos game when he was down in Southern California, and I think he parked I think on the American side. I think he went with a group, so I don't know if they took a bus or exactly how they got there. But I know after he stayed with us in Northern California, he was headed down to Southern California to do all that stuff.
That's pretty cool, man. I've been meaning to go to Mexico for a very long time. I actually was planning on going for this season, but I'm definitely gonna be checking out the Canadian Premier League. They just had their jersey drop today.
Yeah, so I know they did it in the evening, and so I haven't followed up, but do they have anywhere like where they have all the jerseys listed in one spot? Is it just on the Canadian Premier League official account?
Yeah, check out the official website. You're saying the jerseys on one spot? So there's
Oh, here
only
it is.
seven teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it now. So I went to at CPL Soccer. Pretty cool. I like this green one.
Oh, the white one. Uh,
Yeah.
the white York jersey. That's my favorite one.
So I think it's white with. So there's two white ones here. I'm talking about the white one with that's in the front that's got like sideways stripes. It looks like
Yeah, the
it's
green
funky.
one.
Yeah, it's white and green and looks like a
Yeah,
dark gray.
that's actually York FC, who are based in Toronto, and they play on the same field as the professional rugby team up there. Yeah, well, I believe it's on the York University campus.
Is York like the name of a neighborhood if it's in
No,
Toronto?
yeah, York is. I don't know if it's the name of the neighborhood, but I do know the name of the university is York.
Interesting. All right. Looks like so we were a little bit delayed getting started. Looks like we're a little bit delayed getting the second half started as well, but finally making their way back onto the pitch here. So second half, be interesting to see what adjustments were made at halftime. You know, Rayados, I'm sure, just wants more of the same. But it'll be interesting to see if we see anything different from SKC here.
Man, I was really hoping they would make at least one halftime substitution.
SKC?
Yeah.
All right, we're underway. Oh, man. Rayados almost was in right off the tap. Doesn't look like there's been any changes for SKC. No sort of, inverted wingers or, flipping the wings or anything like that. Looks like they're just coming out kind of the same formation. Looks like they're doing the same thing, building slow out of the back, trying to possess. So no changes from them.
I'm trying to actually see if they switch to a 3-4-3.
Is Sinovic pushed up a little more?
It's very possible that they just shifted Zuzi up.
Looks like Sinovic is pushed really high as well right now. Now he's fading back, but when they were in possession right there, he was pushed really high as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be their strategy to basically play a 2-5-3 in attack. They got to score. They don't have a choice right now.
But do they need to be that risky this early in the second half.
You got to do something that's going to catch the other team off guard. Yeah, you do. You got to try to punch them in the mouth yourself in the first couple minutes. You can't back down. You can't ease into the second half.
Yeah, I respect that approach. You don't see it too often, but I like it.
You don't. It's they're overloading the wings. There you go. Get it out wide. The touch is so poor compared to Monterrey's. Yeah, Sinovic, he's having a bad game. His bald spot is about the size of the fucking moon. Man, this is not a good look for him. He's definitely had better days.
Yeah, it hasn't been his best performance tonight.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that was a terrible shank clearance.
Yeah, they got away with it.
Yeah.
Man, poor Tom Carroll. I thought he was going to be a great player.
Oh, that'll be a card. But again, like I don't know who's controlling these replays, but we keep coming. They need to show one replay and then get back to the action because we keep missing how these turnovers are happening. This is the inverse of what happened in the first half. Now Rayados turned the ball over somehow, and SKC had it. And then, we see Espinoza getting fouled there. But dangerous area to concede a free kick. So it'll be interesting to see how they defend this, if they defend it super deep like they have been. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about, Blaze. I know you said you missed the last one, but you see how they have a handful of defenders right on the 6-yard box?
Yes.
I personally like this approach. Just go out and win it, and attack it. It's in front of you instead of trying to manage behind.
You know why they can get away with that though is because their center backs are enormous compared to anybody SKC's bringing up there.
They've done this in other matches though too.
Yeah, Rayados can get away with that, but if you have an attacker that can match you for physicality. Like, if they were going to play against Santos and have to deal with Julio Furk, there's no way they do that. Absolutely not.
I personally think more teams should do it, regardless of matchup with size. I just think it's a better – you give yourself more of an advantage to win the ball there, and that's just my opinion. I've never liked the idea of sprinting back at your own – goal, trying to head the ball the opposite way, which is kind of the conventional way that everybody agrees you should defend free kicks from, within 30 to 40 yards of your own net, from a wide angle.
Well, it also depends where the free kick is coming from. Like if it's coming from the corner of the 18-yard box or from the side of the goal, that's one thing. But no, if you have it on the side, think about, I hate to make this a reference, but think about if you're playing a game of FIFA, right? You just whip that ball in near post and just all you got to do is touch it.
Exactly. Because everybody's running at their own net.
On offense, yeah. But,
So if you're already there defensively, you're already standing there. And you just need to attack the ball. Like that's kind of where I stand on it. I know it goes against conventional sort of defending styles, but I just don't know why more teams don't try it.
Well, also, you're going to give the goalkeeper an absolute headache with that many bodies in front of you.
But you're giving the goalkeeper...
You make your goalkeeper very, very uncomfortable.
Well, what you're saying is, goalkeeper, anything in the 6-yard box is your responsibility. Anything else, we're going to win. I still think it's a better strategy than having 8 to 12 guys, when you combine both teams, sprinting at the goalkeeper, and he has to make a decision with those people sprinting at him whether to come out, and there's going to be a collision and all of that. I think you take a lot of that away and you simplify the goalkeeper's responsibility by saying everything in the 6-yard box is your ball, everything else is the defender's responsibility. So
yeah, but you also want to have a great sight line. Plus, if he decides to shoot the ball, if you decide to shoot the ball on the free kick when everybody thinks you're going to cross, all those players are going to be onside for the rebound. All of them.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, you wouldn't unless the dude's. I don't think you defend that way from maybe 35 or 30 yards and in. But if a guy's going to hit one from that far out, again, you just back your defenders to win it. I don't know. That's just where I stand on it.
Yeah, well, I was a striker, so I can't. We got to get a goalkeeper in here, or a couple of center backs.
Yeah, I was a midfielder. So Christian, my brother, was a goalkeeper. So I have to. I don't, he hasn't really chimed in when I've brought this up because I brought this up in the past. So I don't know. We got to get his thoughts on it. I don't know any center backs, but we got to. Well, I know center backs, but they haven't been on the podcast. Oh, Bridger. If Bridger joins, he's a goalkeeper. So I don't know if he's going to be here tonight, but next time we have him on, I'd like to get his thoughts on that.
Yeah, I want to hear about it too.
Drew, any thoughts on that? I know I brought it up before, so you may have already given your opinions.
I'll leave it to the goalkeepers what their opinion is on that. It's a toss-up on that, on how you want to handle that situation. There's so many ways that could be handled.
3-0.
Thanks for telling us.
Sorry.
That's just unfortunate. Unfortunate for SKC there. Ball, did that get deflected on the cross? And then just not marking on the far post. I don't know if that's Zuzi. I think it was Zuzi falling asleep on the back post. You got to follow men in. I mean, it was the same situation in the first half on the second goal where they weren't tracking runners. Monterrey is just quicker to that second ball or that deflected ball or whatnot.
Well, they overloaded on the wing. They went 2-on-1 with Pabon, and Sinovic gets burned for a third time on his side.
That's tough to put that on him, though. He's got a 2-on-1 situation there.
That is, like we got to screaming for help.
Looks like Johnny Russell actually was his combination. Johnny Russell and Zuzi, combination of the two of them.
Zuzi really needs to be paying attention to his back shoulder when he's not. He didn't have anyone marking there. He was just standing.
Work from Monterrey though to create the goal. Like I said, excellent build-up play, overloading, and just SKC. I guess that's Gerso's responsibility. I mean, maybe Espinoza or Illy or Gutierrez is supposed to be sliding over, but yeah, in this 4-3-3 system with the wingers not tracking back, it's tough for the outside backs, especially with how dangerous Rayados has been on the wings. Dangerous free kick here, though. Angry Vermees.
Man, a lot of heads down. A lot of heads down.
Yeah, if they just get a goal and get out of here at 3-1, they're in okay shape. Like they got to. That's one of the things, and I don't know if it's a lack of experience in these two-legged competitions or whatnot, but so many teams just, again, obviously it's deflating losing 3-0, but you got to keep your head in it because this is a 180-minute game. It's not just a 90-minute game. And, it's a great ball by Russell there. didn't get a connection on the far post. But even though that you're down 3-0 right now, you gotta just keep in mind that there's so much time left in this one.
If there's another goal, guys, I'll wait for y'all.
All right. I personally don't mind, but Drew, it sounds like you wanna be surprised.
Put in my fun.
All right. Oh, interesting. Picked up a yellow card for that one.
It's a strange yellow. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of understand it from the ref's point of view, but also like Zuzi's jumping, whereas Funes Mori is not jumping. And naturally your arms kind of go out there. So I can understand it both ways.
Yeah. I mean, it's the simple act. Even if you're not looking at the ball, if you catch your opponent with a clean elbow in the face, you're gonna get a yellow card every time. Even if it's an accident, it's still dangerous. It's like if you don't mean to go in studs up, but you do anyways. It's the same concept. Yeah, you gotta get a yellow there. It's more to control the game than anything, because if he doesn't give a yellow there, especially when you're playing in Mexico, which is known for playing a really aggressive game anyway, yeah, hell is gonna break loose.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. But I can also understand Zuzi's perspective, because what's he really supposed to do there? Again, I'm fine with the ref giving the card, but I can also understand, Zuzi's frustration at, what's he supposed to do there. Lovely play by Monterrey there. Again, coming down this right side of their attacking Sinovic.
Man, he's gonna have nightmares about this game.
Yeah, what is he doing there? He looks out of sorts right now. Just throwing the ball just right away. Croze coming in. Be interesting to see who Croze looks like he's getting ready.
Yeah, I like him. I've only seen him a handful of times.
I know.
I like his style.
Yeah, he's been underperforming. I think he's a designated player, and so he hasn't quite lived up to that, price tag. But oh. But it'll be interesting to see who he comes in for. So I don't know if he'll come in for one of the midfielders. I mean, generally he's an attacker, generally been a winger. I don't think he replaces Gerso or Johnny Russell. I think they do some sort of formation.
I wouldn't be surprised if he substituted Gerso out only because he's been absolutely invisible and he's had his head down and he's got some really poor body language out there. So I even though I really like Gerso, he just hasn't been involved, and yeah, they need something different. But more likely, I would say they take out Gutierrez.
Yeah, I mean their best chance came through Gerso, right? And like through at the end of the first half there. So he hasn't been involved as he needs to be, but he has been involved in kind of their most dangerous chance. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out Sinovic and they switch to a 3 in the back, and
yeah.
SKC cannot give the foul away there. They can't. It just drives me up a wall. Just don't even give him the opportunity to go down. Just got to be smarter there.
Man, they got the wave going.
Oof.
So you guys had your friends that how you guys got like the jersey box. What was that called?
Yeah. Football kit box. Yeah, Paul we had on.
I try to reach out to him for just like a very small sponsorship, like 3 times, and he didn't even get back. I was gonna run ads for him for like a month for like 1 or 2 boxes, which I thought that was good value. But hey, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, so he was. It looks like Johnny Russell's coming out. That's interesting. Can't say I saw that sub coming. Yeah, I mean he was a little bit tough to get a hold of sometimes through email. Were you trying through email? Were you trying through Twitter?
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty active on Twitter. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, we just had him on for an interview, and that was kind of it. I ended up purchasing a kit box just to support him and check it out, and it was kind of cool. But I'm more into soccer scarf collection than I am to jersey collection.
Yeah, I got a collection of about, I'd say, 60 kits right now.
Nice.
Yeah, well, half of them came this summer in Brazil, where you could get some. You can find authentic kits down there, mixed in with 90% fake kits for anywhere from $2 to $10. I spent $20 at the most on one.
Oh,
Yep. I was waiting for y'all.
Jesus.
Pabone! Oh my god.
What the hell happened there? Who just fell over for SKC? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Pabon just with the miss.
Pabone could have had a hat trick tonight.
Bono.
But yeah,
What?
the most I paid for a kit down there, I got an authentic, super rare. I still haven't seen it in stores. Black and pink PSG training top, a training jersey for $20.
Nice. Oh, that's a terrible, terrible giveaway. Good recovery there, but man, SKC is just getting sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool though.
When you start to get sloppy like that, you damn well know that they're doing nothing but focusing on getting that one goal right now.
Yep, and that's what they need. And it's got to be
Mhm.
quicker there.
So even though, they'll say, her critics will be like, hey, shit, what the fuck? They're piss poor in the back right now. That's because their minds are just saying forward, 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 forward.
Talking about SKC right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're seeing the replay of that Nemeth chance. Probably their best opportunity of the night. I think that's their first shot on target, if I remember correctly.
I would believe so. Yeah. So let's do predictions, guys.
Oh,
Do either of these teams score another goal? And if so, who or both?
I'm going to say it ends 4-1, so I'm going to say each gets one more. I'm going to say SKC gets one, and then Monterrey gets another.
In that order?
Yes. Drew?
None.
None? You think it ends 3-0?
3-0. I think it ends.
Yeah, I'm
What do
with
you
Drew.
think, Blaze?
I'm with Drew here. But if there is one, it's going to come from Rayados. Just on like a 5-on-2 counter.
Yeah, because SKC's got to be pushing numbers forward.
Absolutely. Jeez. Rayados have had 15 shots to 4, 9 on target compared to just the 1 for SKC.
So, yeah, just a dominant display by them.
Yeah, in the final third, they've been line breaking SKC so easily. It's funny, I have one Liga MX shirt and I have no MLS shirts in my collection.
Is that out of principle? Is that so? What's your deal with collecting? Do you have any story? Is it just whatever you can get your hands on? Do you have to get it places you've been, or
Penalty! Sorry, guys. I got excited.
no worries? And is that Crozet giving that away?
Let's focus on the. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, a lot of them, a lot of the jerseys I've collected have just been where I've been, shirt swaps. Like I got a bunch of, Southampton kits as well. But if they look sweet, pick them up. I went to the classic football shirts pop-up shop when I was in London this past year, which was just absolute pornographic material. Oh my god. And it was also on retro video game night.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was playing like something on the Sega Genesis from '96.
Old school.
What's gonna happen here? He goes to the left, Amelia goes to the right.
It's like
Oh, I guess one part of that,
there.
right?
Yeah. Well, now I just need SKC. I didn't get the order right, but SKC can score one. I will at least have been right there. I had something to say. Oh, what do you guys think of that? So, was it a stone cold penalty? It did look like there was contact.
Yeah.
He definitely drug his foot. Dragged his foot. Yeah,
He's a drag. What a drag!
But
it looks like another year with no MLS in the at the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
it's not over yet, but it is.
Yeah. I'm super interested to see what happens this offseason with the CBA and see, what the MLS owners are willing to commit to and if they're willing to go after, because they need to at least double the salary cap, in my opinion, if they want to legitimately compete with Liga MX. And keep all of the rules and roster mechanisms already in place.
Well, it's not even about competing with Liga MX. If they even want to think about competing in the Copa Libertadores, holy shit. You think Liga MX sides are killing them. Just wait till they play Flamengo. Wait till they play a Boca Juniors. Are you kidding me? They're going to get stomped.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm not even talking about that. That's why they have to focus on Liga MX right now. So I'm not concerned about that because that's again the level after approaching Liga MX level. So for me, it's about the way that the league has always grown, which is calculated, probably slower than what people would expect. But again, the next step that they need to take is getting to at least Liga MX level. And the way that they need to do that is they need to, in my opinion, at least double spending for players. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope they don't get. I just really hope there's no strike and it doesn't come to that.
Yeah. to be honest, and I hate to even say it, but a strike might not be the worst thing for Major League Soccer.
In what way?
It might cause them to actually do some logical thinking here. Just like I was one of those people that said, hey, if the U.S. actually missed the World Cup, maybe some good will come out of this. Unfortunately, I was a little more optimistic about the results coming from them missing the World Cup than what actually transpired. But man, did the U.S. have a beautiful, beautiful golden generation coming.
Yeah, so I don't think them missing the World Cup was good, and I also don't think a strike for MLS would be good. But that's my opinion, Drew. What about you?
No to the strike.
Yeah, and so in what way would it be good? I know you said it might force.
Well, obviously, the strike would have to happen. Yeah, if it were to happen as far away from the World Cup as possible, which would be, which would actually would be, at the end of this year. But it's hard to actually say it'd be really beneficial because what MLS is going to look at more than anything is the bottom line. The attendance continues to go up. And as long as that's happening, they're not going to really want to change too much. Of course, player demands and the demand for the quality to improve. Those are always going to be there in any sport. I mean, you look in the last 5 years, look how much the quality of MLS has improved compared to the 15 years prior.
Well, and that's because of TAM and what they've injected into the roster. And I don't think attendance is what they're excited about because, I mean, in the modern game, it's all about TV rights, and they need to improve those. And with that improved rosters is pretty much going to be the only thing that's going to drive that up. So I don't know if attendance is what they're happy with because I don't know how they could realistically sit there and be happy with the TV ratings numbers right now. I think they need to get on some sort of consistent national schedule because still I don't know
that's
when.
A huge problem.
Yeah,
that's the big one right there.
Yeah, because like
you never know when the games are on.
Exactly. And I mean, that's a huge sticking point for the league right now for as far as TV ratings are concerned. And then on top of it, it's just, the quality of play is improving. And like you said, it has improved by leaps and bounds over pretty much since TAM was introduced. And that's why I think, devoting even more money to it might be good. Oh, dear Lord. And that's 5. And that'll, if there was any sort of hope for SKC, that'll do it right there.
That's fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry.
I think since this is wrapped up, I may take the extra 15 minutes. And
all right, man. I know you're
my rest on the East Coast side of things.
I'm gonna just finish work a little early myself. This is
getting.
Yeah, ugly. And to be honest, I don't know how many people are even still watching on YouTube. So if we want to cut this thing out early, I'm okay with it because I don't know how much more we're gonna have to say here.
This is pretty much we can wrap it up in a few short words.
Yeah, Drew, final few words for you.
Yeah, simply put, good luck to Monterrey in the final against most likely Tigres. And we look forward to seeing that here within the next couple of weeks. As for Sporting KC, definitely not what I was expecting out of them. But like I said at the start, MLS teams cannot handle Mexico and any of the Central America countries when it comes to playing away from him.
All right. Blaze, anything you want to have in closing?
Darlin Pabon is the man. Seth Sinovich, get some Rogaine, bro. Man, what a one-sided performance. Holy shit. Yeah. To the 5 or so people listening, check out our latest podcast where we interview Yves Galarcep, one of the original OGs of American soccer journalism. We dig really deep on some of the great up and coming young talent. He reveals who he thinks who has players who haven't earned a single cap yet for the U.S. men's national team, who he believes will be on that World Cup roster if we make it, and reasons why Tim Weah and a bunch of the other up and coming stars might not be on the Gold Cup roster. So it was a fun chat. Check it out.
All right. And as we're talking here, Monterrey with a jailbreak. Looks like the pass was just overhit. Yeah. So everyone that has been here, I mean, I don't think you'll miss us too much. We thank you for tuning in, interacting with us, and yeah, hope you had fun. We'll be most likely be back. I'll be back with a podcast this weekend with my brothers, and we have an interview next week with some people from the Philadelphia area who are working on a youth club, and the one is heavily involved in the Sons of Ben. So we'll be talking with them on Monday next week. So hope you hang around and tune back in, and everyone has a good night. All right. We'll talk to you soon, everybody. See you.